Here I'm performing the lat pull over. As mentioned in the exercise, I'll be challenging the lats. Number one, I'm going to set up the cable to an appropriate height. And then I'm going to take a few steps back such that I have tension on the cable where the cable is no longer resting on the stack. Instead, it is already off the stack when I just take a few steps backwards. Then I hinge my butt by just pushing my hips back. You can see that my back is still straight, or rather I would say that it is not rounding. So I take a few steps back, I push my butt back, or I hinge backwards, and all I'm thinking about is pulling my hands towards my hips or waist. You can see that my elbow joint is not moving. I'm keeping my elbow and shoulders relatively at the same angle throughout the entire movement. And so you can see here once again, I've set the cable at an appropriate height. I grab the handle at a relatively slightly wider than shoulder width apart. I take a few steps back to tension the cables. I push my hips back or I hinge. And all I'm thinking about is driving my hands towards my hips. Another cue I want to give is to breathe in as you allow your shoulders to flex or as you allow your hands to go up, and breathe out as you bring the cable down. So breathing in as you allow your hands to go up, and breathe out as you bring the cable towards yourself. So once again, you can see that my elbows and my shoulder joint are remaining at that same angle throughout the entire movement. And all I'm thinking about is pulling my hands towards my waist while keeping that angle at my elbow relatively the same throughout. You can bend it slightly and that's totally fine. I'm keeping it slightly bent but relatively straight at my elbow joint, and all I'm thinking about is pulling that cable or handle towards my hips / waist. So just a recap, set the cable to an appropriate height, hold on to the handle, take a few steps back such that there is tension on the cable, hinge your butt back. You do not want to round your spine, you just want to hinge your butt by pushing your hips back, and then grab the handles at about slightly wider than shoulder width apart. Drive your hands down towards your waist / hip. Breathe in as you allow your hands to go up, and breathe out as you bring the handle down. Keep the angle or the elbow relatively straight or the same throughout the entire movement as we are working on the lats, which attaches on the upper arm. And so we want to bring that elbow towards the waist to cue the lats to be working.